Hi everyone, Dr. Ty and Wendy here with Momentum Chiropractic. Here we're bringing you the wobble instruction video. So number one, what is wobbling and why do we wobble? So the first thing is we want to create motion in our spine. Motion in this spine is equivalent to longevity of your life because it protects the nerve system at all costs. So the spine, protector of the nerve system, what we're going to do is make sure that that protector is in great shape so that the nerve system can do exactly what it needs to do for the rest of your life, okay? So what do we need to do with that? We need to move it. We need to create balance in there. We need to create core strength. What this also does is the brain and spinal cord is also surrounded by this fluid called the cerebrospinal fluid, which nourishes the spine, the nerve system, the central nerve system, the spinal cord, all of that stuff. And there's a flow to it, okay? So when we move our spine, when we do this with it, when we go front and back, that's what helps pump those fluids all around the brain and the nerve system to make sure that it's incredibly healthy all the way around. Okay, we want to make sure that our disc spaces are rehydrating. We want to make sure that our body is resilient to those injuries that we don't know are coming. Car accidents, work injuries, sports injuries, working out in the yard. So all of these wobble things are designed to do a multitude of different things, and that's to protect that spine, to get you ready for whatever sports activity, all those things that you're going to be doing that create activity in the spine and the body and the balance, everything. So that's the design of this. It's going to be done a lot, okay? The more you want this spine to stay without arthritis or limited arthritis, the more functional you want the spine. You do this wobbling twice a day, once to twice a day. For my patients that are going through the corrective care plan, you're going to do it twice a day for quite a while, okay? So this is how we do that. There's two parts to the wobbling. There's the warm-up part, which is 3 motions, and then there's what we call the prehab, which is the X pattern or the exercise portion of the wobbling, okay? Okay, so let's talk about how we do this. There's 2 parts to the wobbling. Number 1 is the warm-up part. Number 2 is the exercise portion. We call this whole thing more like prehab. The prehab is designed to get you ready for the adjustment. That's really the biggest thing, the biggest purpose of that, doing it in my office. And then again, for when you're out in the yard, when you're going to a sporting event, when you're going to do something physical, going on a long drive, you want that prehab to warm that spine up so that it can protect you and your nerve system and keep that vibrant health and that functional health the best it can, okay? So the warm-up position. First of all, this is a wobble disc, okay? This is what you're going to be basically sitting your buns on and making your hips go one way and your body go the other way. That's what makes this thing work so well. We're going to have a fulcrum here that your body gets to tip back and forth on. What we want that to do is this disc right here. This is what is a good healthy disc of a nucleus pulposus annulus fibrosus. When this is nice and healthy, when all those little layers in there are stuck and glued together, we're in great shape. You're going to rarely damage this disc, okay? Especially when that spine is in great physical condition and in good balanced shape. So what happens, unfortunately, is these discs get very dehydrated because of lack of movement, because of a restriction from a misalignment in your spine or whatever it may be. Then, if we leave that for a long time, which that doesn't have to hurt. There are 65% of people out there walking around with a disc herniation. I know you guys have heard of bulge disc, herniated disc, split disc, and they don't even know it until that tear gets bad enough. So what we're trying to do is make sure that this disc stays massively hydrated in all 4 quadrants of it, okay? If there's no motion in this disc, that creates the arthritic change, and then it gets to turn into this. This is more of that beef jerky, dehydrated disc, and notice that where those nerves are coming out of, the hole is extremely tiny versus very big here. So this is the space taker of where we're keeping the pressure off those nerves. So again, we want to preserve this. This can be preserved for the rest of your life doing these exercises, okay? Let's try and avoid this at all costs. So this first exercise on this wobble disc, we're going to have Wendy turn this way. And it's a forward-backward movement. So we're trying to take that spine. Go ahead and demonstrate. We're trying to take that spine and do this with it. from the back to the front. So notice her head goes forward. Go ahead and go through the normal motion. So she's going to just start out kind of slow, get that body moving, get that spine moving, but notice she's going full range of motion. She's extending back, she's looking up, and she's not just doing her back, she's doing her whole spine. Let's get that whole spine, get the most out of this, and flex and extend those disc spaces and those joint spaces. Now, what she's doing when she goes forward, she's going to squeeze her tummy in, suck it to her spine, and breathe out. Okay? And then we're going to diaphragmatic breathe and suck it in from our belly like that. So we're going to work on our diaphragmatic breathing. That as well pumps that cerebrospinal fluid. Amazing, amazing benefits just by teaching your body how to learn how to breathe and oxygenate your system. Okay? So she's going to do this 15 times back and forth. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and spin back to the front. So now 15 times back and forth. You can speed up as you get warmed up and go faster, or you can stay slow. It's up to you and whatever your speed's going to be. Go to where, if you're having pain with it, go to where it hurts. You don't have to not do it at all. If you can get even a little bit of motion out of there, you're going to notice the transition over time is going to be better and better. Okay, so the second motion is what we call picking the weeds. She's going to let her hips drop down to the left and bend with her neck first here, body second. Drop the hip to the left, reach down to the right. And she's going to reach for that, that weed over there, go back the other way, and then she's going to go ahead and show them what you would do if you're doing it normal speed. What does that look like? Okay, you can even go faster than that. Yeah, so once you get up to normal speed, I would say this is a good pace. You should actually work up a sweat doing this by the time the 10 minutes is up with this whole thing, okay? So that's the picking the weeds. Notice what she's doing is she's not doing this and just leaning over. She's actually moving her hips to the left, body to the right, hips to the right, body to the left, starting with the neck. Always start with the neck. Neck first because you want to get that motion up there too. The third movement is more now the twist. So we're going to twist around this axis so that she can actually get all of the motion in those discs satisfied. Okay, so go ahead and demonstrate that. Okay, and this is again the third warm-up. You're doing 15 full repetitions. Okay, notice how she turned her head first and then went the body next. Okay, so advanced level, what you can do is you can start dropping the hip away from the side that you're turning to. Okay, so we can get again more action in there, but start with just head, neck, twisting, making sure that again we're getting that flexibility. You should feel the resistance in there, and again you should start kind of building up a little bit of a sweat. Now she's all warmed up and ready to go. Those discs are a little bit warm, but they're still not warm enough to model them and mold them the way we need them. For the adjustment purposes, I want that thing just loose as a goose so I can set those bones where they need to be to release the stress on the nerve system so your body can heal and function at its best. So we need to now take that disc that's still in its hydrogel form and turn it into hydrosol, which is more of a liquid form, okay? So this is where we're going to get all four quadrants of that disc by opening up this space and then opening up this space and then opening here and then opening here to make sure that that full disc is nice and hydrated. So what that looks like is what's called an X pattern. The X pattern is if you were to look right down on the top of your head, you draw an X right through your body, okay? So if this is the head right here, the X is like this, and this is the pattern you're going to follow. So what she's going to do, she's going to drive the hips forward to the left, and the body goes back to the right. Now, let's keep your head in this neutral position, okay? So the whole time you want your head to be here. So you're going to really work hard to really stretch that body back, and then she's going to go straight back. So here's the X point on the front left. Now we're going to go to the X point on the back left. Okay, so now in this whole time she's breathing again through those warm-ups, those 15 either way. We're going breathing out, breathing in, side to side, breathing out, and then breathing out again. So in when you come up, out when you go down. Same thing with the twist. Twist. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Okay, same thing that she's doing here. She's going to exhale when she goes back to the left, and then she's going to come and hold it for 3 seconds. She's going to come across, get that diaphragm pulling those lungs open, hold it for 3 seconds, squeeze those abs, come back this way, and then cross it over. That's 1 revolution or 1 repetition. We're going to do 25 of those. So easy. Instead of counting all those, you're going to do 8 minutes of this X pattern. So it takes 2 minutes to do the warm-ups, 8 minutes to do the X pattern. Boom, you're done. You have now successfully taken those disc spaces, those joint spaces, the cerebral spinal fluid, and moved everything throughout your body more than you will ever do in any other thing that you're doing throughout the day. So if we do this twice a day, dramatic changes on your health benefits, your functionality, just being able to bend over and tie your shoe, pick up something, amazing stuff that this wobbling alone does. And everybody that does this on a regular basis says, man, if I take a day off or if I don't do it, I can feel the difference, okay? So when to do it? It's morning and evening is the best. Right before you go to bed, if you want a better night's sleep, that's the time to do it. Right when you wake up in the morning to just get the body alive and awake, boom, that's the perfect time to do that. Those are the great times, but just pick 2 times. If you can't do that, if you get up at 3 in the morning anyway and you don't want to get up another 10 minutes earlier, I totally understand. Take it to work with you, take it with you somewhere, but make sure that you're doing and picking a couple times a day. You can do it more than that even if you want, okay? So that's the when. Do it before you go out and do, again, an activity that's going to require some back effort and all that good stuff. Before you go on a long trip when you're going to be stagnant for a long time. Those are other good times to do that. So twice a day, morning and evening. So finishing up, just in conclusion, what we're gonna do our wobble warm-up first. There's 3 warm-ups, front to back, side to side, and then the twist, 15 each way. We're going to then follow it up with the X pattern, okay? Front left, back left, cross it over, front right, back right. We're going to do that for 8 minutes, okay? And then that 10-minute span is up, you're done. And then there'll be other therapies to follow after this, but that concludes the wobbling part of this. And if you have any questions, if there's any pains associated, don't just stop. Do what you can, unless it hurts too much, and then always come to us and ask questions, okay? So that's Dr. Ty and Wendy signing off with our wobble instruction video. Be blessed and be a blessing.